In this video, we are going to be talking about what to expect when applying to investment banks, how to strategically position your application in order to increase your chances of success, and I've partnered with Financial Edge Training to do a giveaway worth over £1,000 in online courses. So make sure you stick around to the end to find out more. So first and foremost, regardless of whether you're applying to spring weeks, summer internships, off-cycle internships, or grad schemes, you are going to be facing the following when you create an account and apply to any investment bank. The first of which is going to be your personal details. So fill those in, and that's pretty simple. Personal details, address, mobile number, email address. One tip regarding email address: sometimes a lot of students put like 2 or 3 different email addresses. They might put their personal one, their university one, and another one. My personal advice is just put one, because you don't want to risk the investment bank reaching out to you and the email going into your junk folder of one of many inboxes, and so you miss out on an opportunity. So make sure you just put one email address. Also, if you put your university email address and you're in your final year, then after you graduate, that email address is going to be redundant. So maybe it's a better idea to put a personal email address, so then that relationship with the bank can continue, because there will be events and opportunities after you graduate that you might want to apply for, and so make sure you put your personal email address into the application system. When it comes to applying to various opportunities at investment banks, you can find them on the careers section of any investment bank's website. In your case, if you're a student, you would want to go for the student opportunities, and they will consist of usually the spring insight weeks, or the off-cycle internships, or the summer internships. After you fill in your personal details, you can expect some banks to ask you for transcripts of your grades, so what you got at International Baccalaureate or your A-levels. Now, this isn't the case for most firms, but if the firms that request them require them, make sure you give their transcripts, and make sure you don't lie about your grades on your application or on your CV, because sooner or later in the process they will do the background checks and they'll find you out. So just be honest from the get-go. Once you fill in the grades, the next part is very important. So it will be either the CV, the cover letter, or motivational questions. Now, motivational questions are usually boxes where they ask you to write about why you're interested in the role, why you're interested in this program specifically, why you think this company is a great company to work for, and they give you like 200 words to do it in. Now, this is very important, but usually if there are motivational questions, they usually take the place of a cover letter, and vice versa. So just know, similar to your cover letter, there's 3 key parts. Why do you want to work for the firm? Why do you want to work for the division? And why should you be hired? Those are the 3 key paragraphs on your cover letter, and it's important if you get asked motivational questions that ask similar questions, take them from your cover letter, make it specific to the organization, and put it into those motivational question boxes. And then you've got your CV upload. So when you apply for any investment bank, chances are they're going to ask you to upload your CV. It's very rare that they don't ask you for your CV. It goes without saying, your CV is probably the most important document that you will ever create when getting hired. Make sure your CV is top quality. Get your friends, your peers, anyone in the industry. If you know anyone, or any siblings, parents, whoever it is, get people to review your CV. Get as many people as possible. Yes, CV reviewing can be subjective, but it will be easy for anyone to spot if your CV's alignment is all over the place, if it looks untidy, if you're missing full stops, things like that. If you want to go further, you can check out officialcvdoctor.com. That's where I can actually help you with your CV and career aspirations. So do check that out if you need to. Once you upload your CV, what happens next? Your application gets submitted into the system, and one of 2 things is going to happen. It's either going to be sat there for review, so for an actual person to review it, and then they might send you some online tests, or you might get the tests automatically. Once you get the tests, they are usually online numerical, logical reasoning, and verbal reasoning tests. So they test your maths, your pattern spotting, so logical reasoning, and then your English, or how to read paragraphs and identify the key points when asked questions based on that paragraph. These tests can be quite tricky, and the best way to practice for them is literally to practice. So practice makes perfect. The 2 providers of these tests are Kenexa and SHL. These are the providers that provide these tests for most of the banks. So you can go to Google or you can go on the websites and search for practice psychometric tests and just practice, because if you don't pass these online tests, you won't be put through to the interviews or the next stage of the application. Now, one thing to note, organizations like Goldman Sachs, they don't do these online tests. They just require you to do a CV upload, cover letter upload, and if they like what they see, they invite you for an interview. But the flip side is that they have many interviews. So they don't do the tests, but they have lots of interviews. Other firms, less interviews, but lots of tests, assessment centers, etc. Once you pass the online tests, you will likely be invited into the assessment center where you do lots of exercises, and they like to assess and test which candidates stand out in such an environment. If you want me to do a video on assessment centers specifically, because I could go deep into it, leave a comment below. After the assessment center, you do your in-person interviews, and this is where they test you on your competency-based questions, your technical questions, brain teasers. They try and get to know you and see if you're a good fit for the role. And if you pass all of those stages, you end up with an offer to join the organization. That does seem like a very long process, but it's actually split into lots of small chunks. And before you know it, you'll be at the end and it will have all flown by. So the best way to get to the end and get the offer is to just prepare and practice and meet lots of people and see or speak to students and candidates who have already gone for interviews or gone to the assessment centers. If you don't have any individuals who you can actually directly talk to, look at online forums. There's lots of forums, whether it's Wall Street Oasis or other banking forums. They have a lot of information where students and candidates share a lot of useful information. Now, how can you be strategic when applying to investment banks? Do not put all your eggs in one basket. This is very important advice. Don't just think you want to be a trader, so you're going to only apply to trading positions. If you only apply to trading positions and you end up getting no offers, just rejections, what are you going to do when you graduate? You're going to be there with no graduate scheme offer. You're going to be in a position that you likely wouldn't want to be in. So what I advise students to do is, there's the front office and the back office. Now, naturally, it's easier to get into the back office than it is the front office, and there are many reasons for that. However, if you want to move to the front office or work in the front office, there are divisions in the back office that work directly with the front office, and it's not uncommon for people to join the back office, do 1 or 2 or 3 years, and then move into the front office, because there's always opportunities popping up in the front office, and they usually go internally, so to internal employees, as opposed to the external world, because internal employees know the organization, they know the structure, they've worked with the front office, and so naturally these opportunities arise. So you need to kind of play the long game. Do most of your applications into investment banking division or asset management or sales and trading, whatever it is in the front office, but also do a few applications in operations or risk, because operations and risk in the back office work very closely with the front office. So you're kind of hedging yourself, which is very important. So yeah, be strategic in your applications because it will help you a lot. Once you get your offer from operations or risk, that's it. You don't need to apply to any more back office roles. Hold on to that offer and do the rest of your applications in the front office. Once you've got that safety net, you can be a bit more risky in your approach to applications, but prioritize securing that safety net more than anything. Throughout the application process, there are many ways to stand out, but the best way to stand out is to show the recruiter or the hiring manager that you are doing things outside of academia and work that are proactively encouraging your learning into the field of work that you're applying to. And that brings me on to today's competition. I'm partnering with Financial Edge Training to do a giveaway worth over £1,000 in online courses. There are 2 spaces up for grabs on their best-selling micro degree course, Investment Banker in a Box, where you can learn the practical skills required to facilitate the key investment banking objectives, the first of which being raising capital and the second of which being completing mergers and acquisitions. If you're interested in winning this course, make sure you check out the link in the video description below where you can find out all the course details on this one. Secondly, Financial Edge are giving away 1 free space on their more specialized Financier micro degree. On this course, you can expect to learn project finance from the ground up. It's an essential course for anyone heavily involved in the funding of major projects. If you're interested in this course, make sure you check the video description below for a link that will take you to more details on this course specifically. Both of these micro degrees have 2-tier certification. Now what that means is, for example, Investment Banker in a Box, it has 350 instructor-led videos and 244 Excel files. And those are separated across different modules. So you've got the valuer, the modeler, the deal maker, and you've got the accountant. And if you complete all the modules in the modeler, you get one of these certificates. However, if you complete all of those modules, you will get a certificate that says you've completed the Investment Banker in a Box. That will look something like this. This is the case for both of these micro degrees. Now, why that's great is because once you get these certificates, you can put them on your LinkedIn, where the HR managers, hiring managers, recruiters, and employees, when they see your application, when you apply to investment banks, they immediately go on your LinkedIn to check out your profile. So when they see that you've taken the initiative, you've proactively gone and done all these courses which are relevant to the jobs you're applying for, they will actually be impressed and likely invite you in for an interview. I personally have a login and an account for Financial Edge Training, and I've got access to the Investment Banker in a Box, and I've got access to the Financier micro degrees. I've browsed them, I've checked them out, I've looked at the course content. I give it my stamp of approval, and I think it's really useful for any of you to take advantage of. On top of that, last year, the top 3 global investment banks, as rated by the Financial Times, chose Financial Edge Training to do their training for their interns, analysts, and associates. So they trained almost 6,000 interns, analysts, and associates at the top banks, and so that kind of is a stamp of approval in itself. And that's why I've partnered with them to bring you guys as much value. To be in with a chance of winning one of these 3 spaces, all you need to do, and it's pretty simple, is the following. Like this video, and then leave a comment below highlighting which of the courses you would like to win, so whether it's the Investment Banker in a Box or the Financier, and then give a reason as to why you believe you should win this prize. And then secondly, go on to Instagram and follow Financial Edge Training and Afzal Hussain. Now the competition is open worldwide, so wherever you're viewing this video from, you can apply. It will take no longer than 2 minutes. And the competition will be open for 2 weeks. So it's Wednesday 14th of August today. The competition will close on Wednesday the 28th of August, and Financial Edge Training will be selecting 3 separate winners, and they will be announced on mine and Financial Edge Training's Instagram accounts shortly after the deadline. If you've liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you aren't already, do subscribe to the channel, and if you are subscribed, make sure you turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. If you want more giveaways on this channel, if you want more competitions, if you want me to partner up with brands that can bring you good value offers, do let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.